that access because we don't believe that the ability to afford your medication should be a barrier for treatment.
Calgary-Fish.
Mr. Speaker, this government have become masters of unintended consequences, and I'm concerned this trend will continue. From the minimum wage increase to the carbon tax and the Bill 6 fiasco, this government has demonstrated a lack of understanding of how their policies are burdening on many of the small to mid-sized employers in Alberta. To the Minister of Labour, do you perform analyses which indicate the cost of any policy changes to small business owners prior to implementing new policy?
The Honourable Minister of Labour.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm very proud of the relationship that we've developed with our small businesses, the consultations that we undertake through organizations like the Chambers of Commerce, CFIB, so that when we're looking at making life better for Albertans, we can make sure that we are updating legislation, like our labour legislation and employment standards, so that it takes care of a strong economy, so that it makes sure that it's supporting families, so that we can have modern and up-to-date legislation in this province, which we are sorely lacking.
First supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, nothing beats face-to-face consultation. Given the government's track record of hiding poor policy within bills which contain justifiable changes, I'm concerned the government will once again use positive change as cover for their true intentions. And given that a number of small and medium-sized businesses have reached out to our caucus to express their deep concern with the government's intentions, again to the minister, when drafting legislation, do you analyze and consider the effect of your changes that they'll have on the viability and sustainability of Alberta's private sector?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm very pleased to hear the member opposite say that he's happy to support positive change, because the bill that I will be tabling later today deals with a lack of action from the previous government that has gone on for decades. I am so proud to be able to look at our work legislation, to talk to all stakeholders, to approach this with a fair and balanced legislation that will support a strong economy and will support families in this province.
Supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, nothing beats face-to-face meetings with businesses. Given that this government is very fond of singing the praises of a particular policy only for that policy to end up harming Albertans, and given that the increase to the corporate income tax is a prime example, given that a recent study from the U of C demonstrated that 2% increase in the CIT resulted in $830 less in earnings for the average dual-income Alberta family. Wow. Again to the minister, how can Albertans trust you to understand their reality when drafting policy, given your government's track record of introducing changes which negatively impact their earnings and employment opportunities?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have personally met with the CFIB, with the Chambers of Commerce, with businesses across this province. And Mr. Speaker, I have also personally met with individual Albertans who are benefiting from our policies, like an increase to minimum wage so that they can put food on the table for their families, making sure that we have Albertans' backs, that we are implementing policies that take care of individual families is a priority for our government, and I'm very proud to be part of that.
The honourable member for Cypress Medicine Hat.